Hey, hello, friends of Golf Course Quality Fertilizer. Well, here we are, another live. People said we couldn't do it, and here we are. We're still live, right? So that's great. Episode number 5 or 6. People said we couldn't do that, so we did it. So there we go. So there's some interesting conversations that we need to have this week. It's not too terrible, but we do have some disease kind of creeping in, and that's because of this seeding and all that. So definitely get that. If you're a 4-step guy and you're working on putting your mid-June down, get that one down as soon as possible. That one takes about a week to kick into gear, and that'll help heal up anything from this seed head die off and all the energy exhausted from these seed heads. I have got a few pictures this week on some our dog, she's hungry, she needs some treats. I got a few pictures this week on the dying seed heads and the leaves that are coming off of there. They look yellow and orange and almost looks like a disease in there. And so, we did a video on that. So if you watch that little short video we did about seed heads, that'll help you see what it looks like when those seed heads stems are dying and the leaves that are coming off that seed head stem is dying as well. So that'll help stuff like that. So the main culprit that I'm seeing as far as diseases right now is red thread. I've seen it in a few different situations, even in some fairly nice green lawns, but it's just, even though it's still green, sometimes when it's starting to run out of juice, it'll still spur on some of that. You'll see a big flush after a rain or something like that. You'll see these spots kind of show up in your lawn, typically in shady zones and things like that say wet longer. You'll notice these diseases more often. I golfed on Saturday. I rarely get to golf, but I went golfing on Saturday, which was super fun. The greens had some dollar spot on them. So in high maintenance areas, even the pressure of dollar spots starting to come on. Shouldn't be in a normal lawn quite yet. It needs to get a little warmer for that. But disease pressure is coming, right? The week looks pretty good as far as temperatures, and we get a little spike into the 80s again and then back into the mid 70s. I mean, great turf weather, right? So I would suggest definitely getting a rain gauge. You guys got to have a rain gauge so you can know how much rain we got, so you can supplement with your amount of watering. We're trying to shoot for 1.5 inches a week of water. I try to do that in 3 different events if I can. So 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. And so if we get a 1/2 inch of rain one day, then I'm going to adjust to just having 1 inch. And sometimes at this time of year, I just kind of watch it because the temperatures are cool enough where I can let it go a little longer. So if I like to manually run my irrigation system, which that's how I suggest to actually run any kind of irrigation system, is manually, right? Unless you work a lot and you can't pay attention to it. But that's the best way to avoid diseases and things like that, because then you can go a little longer without watering, and that helps keep that surface dry and increases the ability to not get diseases, right? Another thing we've seen a lot of, and we've had some people who are not even going on their porches or their decks right now because there's a lot of clover mites that are out there. And I'm sure everybody's seen clover mites. They're very, very little red bugs, and they crawling all over the place. And when you smash them, there's a sudden red smear, like it was blood or something. This looks really gross, but it's not blood. It's just the things from the clover mite. And they do attack grass, right? A little bit. I mean, it's in wet areas, kind of like where the diseases are. So shady zones that stay wet longer are going to have more clover mites. Shade just gets beat up left and right in all kinds of directions. More disease because it's wet longer. They get more insects because it's wet longer. And they don't get enough sun, so they can't grow fast enough. And so shade lawn is really tough zone to be in any situation with any turf, really. Even shade tolerant turf is tougher, grows a lot thicker in the sun. And so it's just interesting about the shade and how tough it is, trying to prune out some limbs and get a little sun coming through there. On golf courses, we actually set up fans, and we do fans that'll blow and move air across the green and keep it cooler and also keep the moisture down. So we do all kinds of fun tricks on golf courses to kind of manipulate the environment a little bit in order to keep turf healthier. So clover mites, I mean, they're just nasty. They don't hurt you though. So, I mean, really their lifespan is only for a month and they're only adults where you can see them crawling all around. They're only adults for a couple weeks. And so once it gets warm out, then they'll go away. And so, they just last a little bit in the spring. They're heavier in the spring. They might come back out a little bit in the fall, but the clover mites are not really much to worry about. I wouldn't worry about them too much. They're just kind of annoying, but they don't bite you. They're just kind of gross. Getting them in your house would kind of stink. So, you can spray your normal herbicide or insecticides. I'm sorry. Your normal insecticides typically can manage clover mites. Just look on that label, make sure it includes clover mites if that's what you're targeting, things like that. So they can get it in the garden. They can do things like that. They can feed on that. They kind of just take some juices out of the cells of the plant. They're super small in super high populations, which we've seen quite a few high populations this year. You might have some plant issues with it. There's some natural things you can do to some oils and whatnot to kind of help reduce clover mite situations. So, anybody out there have any questions? There's nobody on there, so no questions. The one last person was like, bloop, and disappeared. I was like, oh, okay. Everybody's out enjoying the lawn. And so we are thinking about moving this to a Wednesday evening. Maybe that way we'll have a few more people that'll be able to pop on Wednesday evening. And does anybody have a question out there? Make sure you ask a question if you have one, because we're going to pop off here pretty soon. So Wednesday evening, we're going to do one. We're going to keep it on Sundays for right now until if we notice that there's a lot more on Wednesday or there's a more draw for Wednesday evening, because it's beautiful. I want to be out. If I had a boat right now, I'd be on that boat being like, well, too bad, turf guys. You're not going to hear anything.
That is very, very true.
Yep. Fishing first, right? For everybody. No, just joking. So, but we might do some Wednesday nights. I think that might get a little bit more viewership and maybe help us prepare for the weekend to come, kind of gain up some plans and all that. It always takes us a minute for us to catch up to what the right thing to do for certain stuff is. But that's how we learn, is keep on keeping on and changing it until it gets better. Right. Great. Might get a little rain. We had a little rain the other night, like 0.2. So looks like there might be some more rain coming in today, which is, they don't call for it. It just shows up. Looks like we're going to get some rain off and on all week long here and there. I mean, it just looks like perfect cool season turf weather. You might only have to click your irrigation on once or twice through this next 10 days or so. So thanks for listening. If you got any questions, write them down between episodes and then pop on and ask them. That'd be great. All right. You guys have a great day. Unless there's another question, I'll give you 5 minutes. No, not 5 minutes. 30 seconds. No questions. Okay.
Be quiet.
Thanks so much. Enjoy your weekends.